Hello. Chapter 15. Saturday morning began with Mrs. Puddock. Louis, stationed on the doorstep to watch out for Theo's chimney-sweeping friend, caught sight of her unexpectedly and let out such an awful shriek that his whole family came running. "She's horrible! She eats beetles! I know she does!" says Louis in a loud, fearful voice. And Mrs. Puddock heard, and froze into stillness, her mouth a tremulous smile, her little hands splayed over something that wriggled. "It's about time you stopped this stupid Mrs. Puddock fuss," said Max, turning back in disgust when he saw what all the noise was about. "Yes, it is," agreed Abby, remembering Louis's list of fears from the night before. Mum went away, and Max was cross, and you read books all the time, and I kept seeing Mrs. Puddock, and Iffen got bigger. Here was one problem she could deal with at least. "Wait," she ordered, just back inside, and returned holding the shoebox that had once been used to pack air. "Good girl," said Theo approvingly as she began to line it with ivy leaves. Louis and Mrs. Puddock watched from opposite sides of the path, their expressions wary and full of suspicion. "What are you going to do?" asked Louis. "Take her somewhere safe," said Abby. "Hold this box for me." "No." "Hold it," said Abby, and swiped his bum with the lid in such a no-more-nonsense Granny Grace fashion that Louis screwed his eyes tight shut, but did as he was told. "Careful," warned Theo anxiously, and Abby was very careful as, with cupped, gentle hands, she picked up the small creature that was Mrs. Puddock and lifted her into the box. "Look," she said to Louis. Louis unscrewed his eyes a little more, then wide and astonished. "Put the lid on and don't joggle her." He nodded speechlessly. "I'll be here," Theo told Abby. "Shout if you need me." "Okay, come on, Louis." Abby took the box from him and led the way to the yew tree passage. 2 minutes later they emerged into the wilderness of the old churchyard with its fallen trees and dampness, and "Marian Heppel, 1802, age 9, a loving heart for all God's creatures." "She'll be all right here," said Abby. "There's ivy and grass, and she won't get trodden on, and it's away from the road. It's much better than under our head. She'll need to hibernate soon anyway." "Need to what?" "Go to sleep all winter like they all do." "Who do?" "Toads," said Abby, taking the lid off the box and tipping it gently onto the ground. "She's only a toad, Louis. She was never anything else. Polly just gave her a name for a joke." "You know that?" Louis nodded. He did now. Had he always? No, he hadn't. Mrs. Puddock glanced up at them with her gold spark eyes, took a hesitant step, then another. "Wait," begged Louis all at once. "I want to see. Abby, make her wait. I haven't looked at her properly yet." For a second, maybe two, Mrs. Puddock did seem to pause. Then, with a rustle of movement, a dry leaf pushed aside, she folded so perfectly into a miniature landscape of stone and tussock that she became invisible as they watched. "Gone," said Abby, and Louis cried, "What'll we do now, Abby?" suddenly forlorn. They arrived back home to find that the chimney sweeping had already begun. The air was filled with the smell of soot, sour, tar-tasting and dusty. "Out!" ordered Theo, but the black velvet softness pouring like water into the fireplace was too fascinating to leave. They all three hovered, longing to help, while Theo and his friend shovelled darkness into bin bags. The first bag split with the weight, and then soot billowed, unconfined, and made them cough and rub their eyes. Louis's nose ran worse than ever, and this cheered him up tremendously because, to his entranced delight, it ran black. One after another they were ordered into the shower, while the bags of soot were loaded into Theo's friend's very dirty van. It was his first visit to the house, and the ivy astonished him. "Magic or what?" he exclaimed. "No wonder you got it cheap. You've not been trying to take it down, have you?" "No," said Theo. "For one thing, it's not my ivy. For another, life's too short. And anyway, it's probably holding up the walls. Why do you ask?" "Noticed it was dropping a bit, that's all." "Wind," said Theo wisely. "Ah," said his friend. But Abby went out to look. It was true that there was a lot of scattered ivy, especially under Louis's window. Iffen's journeys up and down the wall had left their mark. In patches you could see right through to the dark red brick. Louis, very damp from his shower, came and looked too. "We're all going out for pizza in a minute," he told Abby. Theo says the house is too sooty to cook. I know. Why are you putting ivy leaves in your sock? They feel nice. Abby looked at him. The leaves were only in his right sock, she noticed, and he was avoiding her eyes. You're walking funny, she told him. I noticed earlier. Only in case the leaves fall out. Abby frowned, but it was hard to be very worried. In broad sunny daylight, with her dad and his friends so pleased with themselves, and Max appearing in a baseball cap he got off eBay saying I Heart Paris on the front and Made in China on the back, and Louis so charmed with his nose. Now I have to sniff, he said triumphantly, so as not to waste it. They had ice cream after the pizza with strawberry sauce, M&Ms, marshmallows and butterscotch chips. Theo's friend said how good he felt to be getting his 5 a day. 5 what? Said Louis. Sugar rushes, he explained. I aim for 5 a day, but I don't always make it. What are you people doing after this, then? Going home to light the fire, said Abby hopefully, but Theo's friend said, stay out that room for a day or two at least, and leave those sheets hung where they are. That's what's going to be settling for a while yet.